Hey folks, and welcome back. You know, electric cars are becoming very popular here in Thailand. They're no longer a rarity to see on the streets. It's actually becoming really commonplace. I met some folks recently on my trip that have a couple dealerships for these, and we're going to get a first-hand look today, even get behind the wheel and go for a ride and see what they're all about. And I was very surprised at what you get for the money, and I think that's the point. Regardless of how you feel about electric cars, after seeing what you get for the money here, I think you'll at least appreciate why they're becoming so popular. So let's jump into it and head to the first dealership.
So I'll tell you what happened. My buddy over at the diner hosted a little meet and greet, a little free buffet for the expat club here in Chiang Mai. And that was on Saturday. And during that event, some people turned up in these electric vehicles. There were several of them, some of them quite grand. And, well, long story short, we got the information wrong. There's one that's 400,000 baht, which is only 12,000 US dollars. And I thought that was the big one. It turns out that's the small one, which makes sense. We couldn't even fathom that the big one would be that cheap. In fact, even the small one, which is right back here, that's the starting price. Now, it's been a while since I priced cars in the US, and in my recollection, a basic car, maybe just, I don't know, automatic and air, out the door, maybe $13,000, $14,000, $15,000. That's not the case. It looks like the cheapest thing you find now is somewhere around 18, maybe pushing 20. You might be lucky and get something around 17, depending on taxes, license fees, dealer fees, etc., depending on what state you buy it in. Those, of course, are gasoline engines, traditional cars. But when you can get a little electric car that really is not, there's nothing about this that looks low end, nothing. Everything that you touch, lots of options, power seats, great big LCD screens, all of this stuff. I think it might be leather or maybe pleather seats, I'm not sure, but nothing in here looks low end. For in the neighborhood of 11,500, 12, I said, I think maybe I'll take a look at that. I'm just thinking if it was 40 years ago and I was out shopping for a first car, an economy car to get you started in life, this is probably the cheapest option. This is what it would be. Back in my day, it was I think a 84 Honda Civic that I drove off the showroom floor for under $6,000. No automatic, no air, no radio, just stripped as it comes. Back then, you could get cars stripped like that. And that was the cheapest thing, very good miles per gallon, high economy. And that's what you have. But today, I don't know. The cars are much better today, but they're also a lot more expensive, about 3 times the price easily. So I don't know, let's take a look at this. Let's take a drive on this and see what it is. There's 2 companies here in Chiang Mai. They're kind of joined at the hip from what I understand. They're different names. I'll give you all the information on the screen and we'll look at some of these models, but I was blown away not only by the low price, but by the quality and the level of equipment that you get. And we'll take this one for a ride and see if it performs, see if it's up to the test.
So I'll have to get acquainted with some of the controls here, but tell you exactly what this thing is. We're at a place called Wu Ling. Wu Ling's the name of the dealership, and I'll show you their webpage. The first thing that caught my attention here is the warranty. They have an 8-year warranty on the batteries. I think that's important because that's the biggest variable with these, of course, and a full 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and even a lifetime on certain components. So Wu Ling, and this model is called the Bingua, best I can see. You from Chiang Mai?
Yes.
Very nice. So we'll just start around this neighborhood so I can get the feel of it before we go out on the main road. But I'll show you the price. I mean, 419,000 baht comes out to $11,900. They've got 2 models, an AC and a DC. The more expensive one, 449, about 12,700. So a brand new vehicle at that price point with that warranty, there's not many options available on the market. Turn right?
Right, yeah.
Right, very light steering.
Steering's very light.
At one point during our neighborhood portion of the test drive, I had to make a U-turn on a very narrow street, pretty like a dead-end street. I'm pretty sure we turned down there by accident. I don't think that's part of the official test drive, but there was backup sensors and a backup camera, so that was nice. I'll show you around some of the interior while I make a 52-point turn here to get this thing turned around. But all of the seats were very comfortable for starters, and that's speaking volumes for somebody my size. I'm usually not that comfortable in small cars. All the switch gear was nice, smooth plastics. They all worked very well, even including the power seat there. I think the center console here is very, I don't know, maybe BMW iDrive-ish looking, but functions very well and easy to use. The screens were bright and very clear. So anyway, we're wrapped up around the neighborhood. Let's take it out on the main road where I can really kind of stand on it. So yeah, it's only 67 horsepower, but with instant torque, it really has a lot of power for a small economy car.
Yeah, eco.
So use less battery with eco.
Yes, more battery.
So there's 3 driving modes. There's Eco, there's Normal, and then there's Sport. I played with all 3 of them. I found Eco to be a little bit sluggish. I found Sport to be a little too herky-jerky. Normal seemed just right, which that's probably the way it's engineered. I did discover there are charging ports on both sides of the car, left and right, so that's convenient, I guess. And the test drive went well. I mean, I don't know. Would I buy one of these at my stage in life? Probably not. Maybe a bigger one. There are some larger ones we'll go look at next. But I'm just thinking for somebody that wanted a cheap car, economy type car in the market for that, for getting to school, getting to work, a very viable option, especially considering the price. Now, back at the showroom, there's a couple other options, a little bit more boxy than the one we looked at. The one we just drove was a little bit more like it was probably modeled after a Mini Cooper. This thing, very, very boxy, but still lots of room. Lana had to pull the seat way up. I wanted to see how she felt in one of these cars. This one wasn't up to the level of the one we drove, this Volt here. Everything looked a little bit more, a little bit more plasticky. Didn't have the features, but 425,000 baht for that car, so about the same price. I would definitely choose the Bengoa over the Volt for me. This one was nice, though. It looks a little bit like a Nissan Cube. I think that's what it was called. I'm not sure if they still make those or not, but this one also was back to the level of quality and engineering and design that the Bengoa was, and lots of room here. Again, even though they're small cars, lots of room inside. But I guess the size also helps, parking in tight places like in Pattaya, I think one of these would be perfect for Pattaya. And really, with a 300-kilometer range, which is what they advertise on these, 300-kilometer range, you could go to Bangkok and back from Pattaya, for example. So looking at these, very pragmatically, if you bought one for in the neighborhood of $450, kept it the 8 years for the battery warranty, and then say sold it for only $100,000, it would still only cost you about $1,000 US a year to own a new car under warranty. So not too bad. But anyway, let's go look at some bigger ones.
So just a few kilometers away, I'm at a place called Deepa, and I'm set inside a very sensible, stylish and sporting saloon, a 4-door sedan vehicle, very Tesla-esque with the big screen. I'll show you around this thing. The drive controls are very minimal like you would find in a Tesla, but 258 PS, or right around that number for horsepower. It's not going to probably have that sort of performance. But this one, a little bit more, a lot more. You could buy 3 of the small ones for this. It comes in at $1.3 million. There's another one over here, like a little bit of an SUV, $1.4 million. I really think, though, if they get a foothold here, the quality of these cars in general, the fit and finish, the quality of the materials, this leather-wrapped wheel I'm touching, the plastic's nothing cheap, very nice and shiny. bright plastics, no dull kind of matte, cheapish plastics. Everything has a very nice touch to it. I really think this could be the future if this goes. I'm not sure electric cars are the future. I would say they're the near future, put it that way. What we'll be driving in 10 or 20 years from now, I don't know. But in the meantime, there's these.
So even here at Deepa, there was a very small one in the same comparable price range of the one we test drove here. A little, I don't know, lime, pale, pasty green one here, but very nicely appointed inside here. Again, I've seen cars in this price range with just a fraction of the equipment that this comes with and all the little utilities and niceties. So, of course, though, Deepa does have some of the bigger ones, like little SUVs. These are more comparable with some of the big full-size family cars on the market. I did see this, though. This one has both AC and DC for charging. If you know anything about that, let me know in the comments. I couldn't really place what DC charging would be. It's charging it with a battery, I guess. I'm not sure. But this one has both, where the small cars, you have to opt for one of those, either or AC or DC. So both Deepa and Wuling, the dealerships are just getting started. They're not everywhere. But while I was in Chiang Mai, it was good to stop by and see them.
So we worked up a little bit of an appetite out car shopping. Now, I'm a little bit of a sucker for recommendations like this, but this came highly recommended. It's a chain, actually. This isn't a one-off. There's several of these around the Chiang Mai area. Now, I had not heard of this. I've been to Chiang Mai before, and nobody mentioned it or recommended it. But this time, that's not the case. I got actually 2 recommendations for this. So we'll go in. We'll see if it lives up to all the recommended hype. But it's called the Dukes.
Just a good old boy.
No, not that Dukes. A different Dukes. So I tell you what, we just ordered. We just came in I ordered, but I'm impressed by a couple things right off the bat. First of all, when you walk in here, it's a big open place. It's very traditional dining, heavy-duty wood tables and chairs. It has the appearance that you couldn't break anything in here. Everything looks very tough and sturdy, but comfortable and welcoming at the same time. The menu, wow, it's as thick as like a magazine. A very big, very colorful, very nice menu, and the scope of everything on the menu, from pizzas, hot dogs, hamburgers, steaks, very nice steaks, some very expensive steaks on there. There's even Mexican food. There's a whole page of chicken sandwiches. It goes on and on. I've opted for the all-American burger, and you can kind of build your own. They have extra toppings, whether that be bacon, avocado. I got jalapenos on mine, for example. I think that was 15 baht more. Double burger, single burger, etc. But here's the other thing. This really this is the thing out of all that. This is what caught me most off guard. About 40 years ago, back in the 80s, one of my first jobs in life was as a busboy at a nice restaurant, a very nice white tablecloth local restaurant, mom and pop type place. And my job, one of the first things I would do when a table sat down, is I had a pitcher of water. I had to keep those pitchers full of ice and water, and I would go pour water in the glass. And that's exactly what happened here. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Maybe at a fine dining place, they might come and pour some water, but you just don't see where they come to the table with the pitcher and pour the water. It kind of brought back those memories. I used to do that. And then I would bring the rolls, and so I guess I'm waiting for the rolls. Anyway, we'll see what the burger is. I think Lon just ordered a fried rice or something, and we'll see what it all comes out. But so far, I mean, this is kind of something a little bit different. And I believe there's at least 3 of these locations around Chiang Mai. This was just the one closest to us and where we were out today looking at these electric vehicles and so forth. So that's why we came to this one. I'm not sure they all look like this, but this one, I'll show you on the map where we are on this one. Anyway, we'll wait for the food.
So the food didn't take long. The kitchen was right on task. There's Lon's fried rice, followed pretty soon thereafter by the appearance of my burger. Came with a big old pile of onion rings. I could have gotten fries. I opted for the onion rings, but that's a double burger. Very nice. Very nice. And came with a nice little order of pickles on the side. I like that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. Something else next time, but for this one, gotta leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, Bye for now.